with my channel. If it's your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. On this channel I share sewing and craft tutorials, and it's all nice and fun. Okay, right? So today's video is going to be a dress, a very simple, easy to wear summer dress. I made this dress for my sister a few months ago, and lately, since it's now summer in South Africa, she's been wearing this dress, I feel like literally every day. And I was like, yesterday I was like, wait, I feel like you're wearing this dress every day, like what's up? And it's understandable because it's been really hot and the dress is just very light and easy to put on. It's a simple like rectangular dress with a shirred waist to just bring everything in. So I'm going to show you everything you need for this dress, and I hope you make something similar to enjoy the summer if you are in Africa or in a country where it's summer right now and not winter like the rest of the world in the north. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video like I said, and I'll catch you on my next video. Bye guys. Okay, so the things you need to make this dress are pretty basic. You need your pins and a chalk thread. You also need elastic thread, or also known as shirring thread, bias tape and scissors, and I have 2 yards of Ankara. And the measurements you need are your bust circumference, your hip circumference, your waist circumference, the length of the dress you want, as well as your armhole measurement, and that's about it. Okay, so I changed the fabric that I want to use. I'm gonna use this fabric instead. So what you do first is take your fabric and fold it lengthwise, okay, so that you have a fold at the top. So your hip circumference, if that's your widest body measurement, you divide that by 2 and then add 10 inches to that, okay? So that's what you need, and that's what I have here, okay? This wraps around my body plus some more, 5 on each side, like just 10 inches, because your waist is usually smaller anyways, and you don't want the bottom to be too like wide. So that extra allowance, a difference between your hip and your waist, is what you're going to use to shear the fabric to bring it together at your waist. Yeah, that's it. So I have this fold at the top, and then what I'm going to do is fold it again in half. Okay, so now I'm working with 1/4 of my body measurement. Okay, so the first thing to mark will be the length of your dress, and that length is 40 inches. So I'm going to mark 40 inches plus hemming allowance. I'm going to fold it, I want to fold it twice by 1 inch, so that's 42. So however long you want your dress to be, just measure that length. And then the next thing is to measure out the neck circumference. I want a V-neck, so I'm just gonna measure 3.5 down by, let's say, 6 inches. Okay, okay. And the next thing is to mark your armhole. My armhole is usually 8, but it's a free dress, so I don't want it to be too tight on the armhole. Just add 2 inches to your armhole measurement because you want it to be loose and airy. That's the front waistline. Mine is 16, so I'm going to mark 16 right here. And the distance from your waist to your hip, mine is 9. So you're gonna mark 9 starting from the waist point. Okay, great. So now you're gonna mark your circumferences. My bust circumference is 38, and 1/4 of that is 9.5. And for ease, again, it's a very loose dress. I feel like I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna make it, instead of 9.5, I'll make it 11. So let's mark 11 right here. I'm going to leave that about 1 inch allowance on the hip, right? And I'm gonna join it to that measurement at the top here. That's the bust measurement, and 1 inch to the bottom. That's what's gonna happen. So I'm leaving room to attach my ruffle bits. So the next thing I want to do is to make sure that I'm marking the same measurements at the other side. So I'm going to put pins at the critical points. I forgot to measure is my back neckline, and I'm just going to bring this down by 1 inch and then just curve the back neckline. To determine how big you want your shirring band to be, I want mine to be about 3 inches or so, right? So I'm going to measure 1.5 from the top and the bottom of my waistline, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna do the same for the other side. So before I start showing my main fabric, I'm just gonna test out the tension of everything on a piece of scrap fabric. Really, I think this tension is great. So on my machine it's a tension 8. The tension is set at 8 and the stitch length is the longest one, which is 4. This is perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that setting as that. Okay, so something I hope I mentioned is that you need to mark on the right side of your fabric. I hope I mentioned that. If not, and you've already gone ahead to mark your fabric on the wrong side, I'm so sorry. So make sure you mark it on the right side so you can see the lines, because the showing thread will be at the bottom and you want the lines at the top. But anyways, I'm gonna start shirring my fabric, following the lines that I had drawn. So you backstitch, or you can choose to not backstitch because you're just gonna sew it close at the sides, but I choose to just backstitch. Shirring and my bobbin thread finished, so I'm just going to show you how I wind my elastic thread by hand on my bobbin. Basically just take the thread, hold it down with your finger and just wind. Don't pull too tight, just slightly, and just wind it around the bobbin. Okay, so I've shirred the front and the back. That was fun. So to finish the neckline, I'm going to start from the center back with the bias tape, and it's pretty much easy. What I do is on the right side, place your bias tape and align the edges, and you can just pin or directly take this to your sewing machine and sew all the way around the neckline with the bias tape. So that's what I'm actually going to do, because pinning does take extra time. I'm going to sew right at the mark here, the fold line, the very first fold line close to the edge. That's where I'm going to sew all around the neckline. So is to fold the bias tape inside like so. You're going to just sew. I like to sew on the right side so that everything is neat. So I'm sewing on the right side by 1/4 of an inch, because that's the length of the remaining bias tape. Let's hem first. So fold it in. Sometimes I forget the steps. I'm gonna fold it in by 1 inch twice. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do, and then we're just gonna sew and hem the dress. And after hemming the dress, let me just tell you what to do next. It's to sew up the sides following the line we had drawn earlier, 1 inch, and then when you get to the waist, you just sew it up from this point, and then stop at the armhole point where we had marked earlier. Do it for both sides, and then you can leave your dress like that. But I'm going to add ruffles to the hem, or to the sides of the dress. So I'm going to show you how I do that as well. But this leftover fabric here, that is the length of the dress, right? And I'm just going to divide this into 4 panels so that I can join 2 panels together and have double the length of the dress. Okay, and that will be more than enough to create a good enough gathers for the ruffles. So that's what I'm going to do now. I have 4 inches, right? So each panel is going to be 4 inches. I'm going to hem one side of it and then attach the other side after gathering it to this part of the dress. Y'all, I'm tired. The amount of time I have spent gathering and hemming and pinning the ruffles is unspeakable, but I think it's going to be worth it at the end of the day. So I'm done attaching the ruffles to one side of the dress. I have also pinned the gathers to the other side, and I'm going to sew down and around the armhole. And then when I'm done, I'm going to close it up and top stitch so that the raw edges are not showing, and that will be it. I'll be done with my dress that was supposed to be simple, but I decided to add the extra work of adding ruffles to the edge, or to the sides rather. Okay, so I'm done attaching the ruffle as well as finishing the edges of the armhole with zigzag stitch. And so to finish, or to close up this raw edge, I'm gonna take the ruffles and put them together this way. You could press it first and then sew in sort of like a French stitch or French seam. Just sew 1/2 inch all the way down to the armhole where we stopped the ruffles. Done with the dress. The favorite part is the shirred waist, and I love the ruffles as well. Like the video, share the video, and I hope to see you in my next tutorial. Bye guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for coming back every week. And bye guys.